Okay, right. Oh dear, right. So I thought it was time to do another live update video. I have got a new chassis for the new build, for the new coil system. It's actually over there, so I've got to dismantle this one here. So this is the new chassis, and as you can see, the difference between the new chassis and the old chassis is I've got a much longer slot for more coils. Well, on the older chassis, I've got all these braces which basically were in the way because of my previous design. I didn't think I was going to use longer coils, or in series I didn't think I was going to have more coils, so I wasn't thinking ahead. So this one, basically I had to scrap it and I've got to strip it down, take the rotor assembly out and put it into this one. So there's the protected drum actually inside, and I've got this clamped together with the elastic band at the moment, so this will it just literally comes apart. But if I take, actually, I suppose I can take the elastic band off now because it's to assemble this anyway, so take that off like that, and we might as well get these other elastic bands off. I'll show you where we're at, because I stuck all this together the other day with acetone and ABS plastic, which I melted the ABS to bond everything on, so it's really strong. It's had about 4 or 5 days to dry. Right, so the whole assembly literally splits down the middle like this, like that. There you go. Now you see what it's inside it. So this is what's inside it. Is the liner drum, which is this section. It's the liner. The main rotary drum that's rotating 8,000 RPM is inside here. So as you can see, there's no chance of any shrapnel or anything flying out and hitting anyone in the face because it's in a completely sealed compartment. And the only vent is at the base where because of centrifugal forces, air will fly out, and there's a partial vacuum in here. Well, not a vacuum, a low pressure zone anyway. So the whole assembly, I've got to put the rotors in, and then I've got to clamp it all together like this, and you get the idea. So this one is basically the same. I've got to disassemble this in the same sort of way. So to get to the rotary system, first of all I need to take the drive belt off. Would help, and I'm going to have to remove the motor as well at some point. Actually, maybe I should take the motor out first, because it's got to come out, and it's clumsy, it's in the way. So let me just see if I can actually get the motor out, because it is. I did stick it in place with some glue, so that's going to be a pain. I'm able to break the seal on it. I don't know if it'll come out or not. Actually, where's my other knife gone? Oh, what I really need is some isopropyl alcohol. I'm not going to use acetone because it'll probably take the paint off. So if I squirt some, because I only use ordinary glue on here, I didn't use any super glue. No, I didn't. No, I was just thinking if I did or not. No, it's just ordinary glue. So this isopropyl alcohol should make it loose enough to soften it a little bit, so I can get this out. Well, I think we're going to get there. It's already moving a bit. Right, let's see if I can get this to break free. Right, it's been a bit stubborn. Where's my fucking blunt knife gone? Oh, I'll use a screwdriver, that should work. I just want to prise this up a bit. Because it's stuck on with the glue. That's it, I think I've got it. I've broken the seal now. Right, the motor should, yeah, here we go. Right, the motor should slide out. There we go. Motor out, which I can put in the new one. I've got a new bracket to mount on the Actually, I've got quite a bit of glue on here. Yeah, just I had to put a bit of alcohol to soften that glue up a bit, and it's actually working. It's coming off. It's just Evo stick, I think, or something. Bostik. It seems to be melting. Yeah, as I say, if I use acetone, it would take the paint off the motor. Oh, I don't want to be doing that. Yeah, that'll do. That's good enough. Well, that's the motor that was the racing motor, if you remember. So that's that out. The next step is to split this thing in half. I'm going to take the this is my RPM magnet sensor. There's a magnet in there, and I've got to break the seal. The super glue. These are super glued on, so I've just got to break the seal on that. Got it. Now that's come off. So that's off, and it's worth inspecting my rotors anyway, because let's face it, I made them a few months back. Right, yeah, a few months now. So I basically want to make sure that the motors haven't started to crack. The drum hasn't started to crack. If it has, it's not gone out of balance at all. It's still in balance. But if it has started to crack, it'll be the opportunity to seal those cracks up with some more of my ABS melted plastic in acetone. So I'll inject some of this into the cracks and seal those up if there is any. Fingers crossed there won't be any. Right, now the next job is to get some tissue paper around here, and this is where I need a bit of acetone to make sure there's no super glue on the end of this shaft, otherwise I won't be able to split it at all, and because the glue will jam into the bearing and stop me from pulling it apart. So I'm just going to soak this tissue in a bit of acetone, and then I'm going to spin the other end like this. You can't see me spinning it, but I am turning the other end. Right, that should split more easily now. So the easy part, I'm hoping it's the easy part, is to separate them. It's not going to be that difficult, because I designed it so it was easy to get apart. And just loosen it first. I don't want to damage the bearings. I've got rubber feet on here, which I'm going to transfer to the new one. I'm not going to scrap it totally. I'll try and figure a way later on of modifying it. The one possibility is to put much thinner coils in here, which would make the chassis still usable. But we'll have to see. So this is a difficult part, because I've got to basically push these two halves apart to slide the bearing off. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming apart. Which end? I have to take my spindle off, pulley thing off. It looks like it's going to come out this end. That's fine. It doesn't matter which end splits first, as long as it comes apart. Oh, there's my rotors. There we have it. There's the top half. there's the rotor assembly. If I can get it out. I'm going to take the bearings out of here as well. Actually, the bearing on the front end wants swapping out because it's a bit noisy. It's bugging me. There's my magnet rotor assembly, very well balanced. Oh, look at that, no cracks, ma. I'm just checking to see if there's any cracks. Wow, that's brilliant. There's no cracks. I can't see any cracks. I'm looking for stress points. Stress points would show up as white lines where the centrifugal forces starting to push the plastic apart. You would see some stress lines in the plastic where it had gone slightly white, fracture lines. Basically, the indication that that's the weak spot. But this other white stuff, that's just the acetone. It had some impurities in it. It's left some impurities on there, so I'm not worried about that. But it makes it hard to see the stress lines underneath though. But yeah, my rotor's looking good shape. And this has been going around at 8,000 RPM. Looks in good shape to me. So that's going to go straight in the new one. So this is the old one. I'll be salvaging my rubber feet, which I'll just pop out like this, and they'll go in the new one. I'm actually printing the feet for the other one right now, so I'll just pop the feet onto the new one. Put the feet rubbers in like this. It's just made out of silicone rubber actually. Well, it stops the vibration a bit, you know, because this thing does vibrate when it's going at 8,000 RPM. So now I need to pop the bearings out as well, which is going to be fun. So that's the next job. Oh, look, it's been rubbing on there a bit. I can see where it's been rubbing. The rotor has been rubbing on that surface a little bit where it's been catching, but the grease, I actually put some plastic bearing grease in there, and it's limited that, so that's not a big problem. It's only a small amount of rubbing, not much. Right, so I've got to get these bearings out. So this bearing on this end is a good one, so I don't want to damage it. And I don't think I could stream for very long with this phone because the battery will die on me. So this is the fun part, is getting the bearings out, because I super glued the rubber band, which is to not reduce the noise. But it looks like it's going to come out pretty easy because I'm just basically breaking the rubber, this crusty super glue bond, because the rubber collapses when I press against it. So I'm just going around. Actually, I tell you what I can do. I can use my I don't even need to use a knife. I can just use this hook thing, because this won't damage the rubber then. I'll just use my hook and go all the way around it. Oops, that was falling over. When I break the seal, I should be able to pop this whole thing out, because I want to transplant it across to the new one. Right, have I got it off yet? Not quite, we're nearly there. I am going to use my knife. It's flatter, it goes all the way down. The hook is a bit thick, it doesn't go down very far. Right, it's coming out. There we go. Popped out. Look, popped it right out. There it is. So this one goes in the new one, and the rubber's still intact, which is what I wanted. I wanted to keep it intact. It's just a rubber band that's been super glued on. So let's just put this end to one side, because I've got everything I need except for the rubber feet, which I'll come back and get later. I won't take them out now because I'll probably end up losing them. So this bearing, I can just pop that in. Like this. Right, take this off, this half. It wants to be flush on this side, and it is. I don't want anything sticking up because it'll rub on the rotor drum. Right, that's okay. So now that one can be super glued in place. This can be. So I'll just get my super glue again. Right. Right, that's that on. Doesn't leak through, that's good. So that's going to dry. Put the cap on here, put that up there. So I've got to do this end now, this other end. So I'll just put this to one side a minute, because I've got to get this bearing out this end. But this is the noisy bearing, so I've got to change the bearing as well when I get it out. I've got another one in the bedroom which I'm going to get. I'm going to have to transplant my clutch mechanism, my belt tensioner as well, but I don't think I'll need it at the moment. If I use this pink drive belt, I won't need that, so I'm going to leave that on the old chassis for now. But this bearing was crunchy. When it was running really fast, I could hear it. It sounds like just some of these Chinese bearings are just so cheap and nasty. Some of them are alright, but the odd one, I think that's the reason why they sell you 10. You order them from China, like you get a tube with 10 in, and they're very cheap, and I think that's the reason why they give you extra ones, because they know that some of them are duff and some of them are good. So you only get what you pay for, really. But it's unfortunate you've got to figure out which ones are the good ones yourself. Right, can I pop this one out? Not yet, it's still stuck somewhere. That's coming. No, it's not quite there. I'm trying not to cut the rubber up because I don't want the super glue to go all the way through the rubber to the plastic on the inside, otherwise it won't dampen the noise. If you see what I mean, the whole point of the rubber being there is to provide a barrier of the noise, and I don't want super glue going right the way through the rubber, because then there's no barrier. I think I ripped part of the rubber there. I might have to change this rubber. Yeah, I probably will. I've got to swap the bearing out anyway. Right, I've got that one off. It looks a bit chewed up to me. So I put these little guides on. They're just sort of little pins, and they just clip together like that. It's all perfectly lined up. Right, let me just check this. Oh yeah, this rubber's gone. I've chewed it up too much. Oh well, no worries, because the bearing wasn't that good, and rather than repairing this one, guess what? If I can find it, I got me another one here. So I'm just going to completely do a new one. I had to put that out anyway, it was noisy. I'm just going to mark it so I know it's the noisy one. So I'm just going to put N on it. N for noisy. I know what it is. So I don't think I'm going to be able to film all of this. So I'm going to go and get a good bearing and some more rubber, super glue some more rubber on around the rim of this. Once I've stuck this together, it's going to be super glued together with the bearing inside it, so that acetone and other crud can't get into it. That's why I put it inside this plastic, these two plastic shells basically. I printed some more previously because I knew I'd probably need some more, and I did. I mean, I can split this one apart to get the bearing out, but what's the point? It's a noisy bearing. I mean, it'll do for some things if I'm stuck for a bearing, but I'll go and get the others. Hang on. I need some rubber bands as well. I'm trying to remember where I put the bearings. Oh, they're in here. Oh, right, something from many years ago. Very old, this. It's antique. Well, I keep a load of stuff in here. Right, here we go. I've got a nice new bearing. I wish I could tell if it was noisy before I put it in, but I can't. You see, there's grease in it, and when it's brand new, it's always quiet. But as it wears in, the grease seems to slowly dissipate a bit, and that's when it starts to crunch. Where's them rubber bands gone? Ah, here they are. Right, so I've got some rubber bands here. I need a wide rubber band that I can use as my buffer to do this one with. First thing to do is to put the bearing in here, like that. It should be a snug fit. It's a very snug fit. Actually, it's so snug, in fact, I need to... Where's my file gone? Right, I'm just filing the edges so it'll go in a bit easier. Right, it's going in. Right, there it started. I've got it started, look. So now it's a press fit job with the pliers. I split it, look. I split the damn thing, look. You know what I forgot to do? I was meant to put some acetone on this plastic first. Then it won't split. That's what I needed to do, really. Let me just pop this out if I can without breaking the plastic any more than I already have. Oops. What can I use to get it out? I'll try and get it out with this. I got you. Right. So I need to acetone these because these, they're straight off the printer. That once I acetone them a little bit, they'll stick together as well once I put them together. But it'll meld the plastic a bit better, and it'll also make it easy to put the bearings in. I just want to treat them both halves like this. That strand can come off. Alright. Getting plastic all over my hands. Right, now I've done that, I'll just let it dry a little bit, then I'll press the bearing in. And then it won't split then. Right, I think we're okay. I think I can put the bearing in there now. Yeah, that's better. That's what I did last time. I just forgot. Now the bearing fits perfectly. It just slid in, glided in easily. Now I just put this other half on and stick them together because the acetone will meld them together. Now they're going to form a seal. I'll just put some on the outside so it bonds. And then they won't come apart then. Then I put the rubber band around the outside. So that's that done. The bearing's sealed inside there, so it can't get any crud or stuff in it. I need to push it into the centre though, because at the moment it's kind of near the top, so I'm just going to use something to push it down a bit. What can I use? I'll use my paintbrush, I think that would work. Actually, that won't work. I know what I need. I need that punch. Oh, this might work. Ah, of course I know it. What am I doing? I just use a drive shaft to push it. The drive shaft will push it a bit. There. Right. Can't get it off now. You know what I've got to do, don't you? I have to ream the plastic. Just make the hole a bit bigger. No worries. I can still ream it with the knife. Just so that the plastic doesn't rub on the drive shaft, which would cause friction. I can do it with a knife anyway. So the plastic itself doesn't want to be in contact with anything. But because I've used acetone, it's very soft. I'll just do this end as well. I don't use a file because it makes granulated tiny particles, and I might get some grit or some diamond deposits off my file might get into the bearing. So I'm just using my knife to trim this bit of plastic off. Yeah, that hole's definitely bigger than the dry shaft now, so let's check that. Yeah, that's better. I still need a bit more of it. Actually, let's try this drill. It won't do any harm to the bearing because it's hardened steel. I'm just super, what's it got, countersinking it a bit, the plastic part. Yeah, that's that. Now I still need to push that through a bit because it's I haven't pushed it through very far. Ah, now it's moved. I can see it's moved. Right, wiggle it about, get it off. Yeah, that's right in the middle now. That's the bearing inside the plastic is right in the centre, which is where I want it. That's where I wanted it. Now all I've got to do is put a rubber thing around here and just make sure that bearing's going to run. So I use my tweezers, which are there. Yeah, the bearing's running because they're actually they nip up when you push them inside the bearing. So yeah, that's working. Okay, so now I need a bit of rubber. Find a flat one. That's the trick. Trying to find something that's not too thick. These frigging rubber. Oh, hang on a minute. Did I save some? I think I saved a bit of that original rubber that I was using because it's the right thickness. Let me just go get it. I think I put it in here as well. Pretty sure it's in here somewhere. Can't even see if it is in there or not. Well, doesn't look like it's there, so I'll find some more. Actually, I know what I can use. I have a piece of dry belt here that was super glued together. It's been glued together before, so it was cut previously, and it's not really much good to me, so I'm just going to cut that again. I'm going to actually use this rubber, which is the right thickness, so this will do the job. So I'll just cut that super glued piece out. Because I couldn't find a rubber band that was the right thickness. Right, now all I have to do is wrap this around. Actually, this rubber was even thicker at one point, because I can see I trimmed it down with a knife because it's a bit raggy, which is perfect because I can't use that as a dry belt anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically hold this between my fingers like this and hope I don't get super glue on my fingers, and I'm going to put some glue on, and I'm going to stick one end, use my fingernail because I don't want to get super glue all over my fingers, and I'm going to gently go around. It should follow the rubber all the way around. Yeah, somewhere it's going round. Right, how far has it gone? It's only gone so far, so what I'll do is I'll chop it off right there. So I'll get my knife. Don't worry, I've got acetone on hand, so if I get super glue on my hands I can quite easily undo my fingers. I'm just going to have to trim it with my scissors. I marked it, I think. Right, so I want super glue up to there. Stuck to my finger then. Again. Acetone, I want some acetone here because right, so I've got rubber going around half of this. I've got acetone in this tissue, so actually it'd be better if we get a cotton bud. The tissue pit, it just soaks straight into the tissue over a wide area and it just evaporates, so I'm going to use this cotton bud just to go around this rubber, clean the outside. Yeah, working. Right, now I just need to super glue this other piece that's left. I hope it's the right length. It might just be. So a little bit of super glue on there, and when I squeeze it down with my finger, it should run around this plastic a little bit. Don't know how far it went. Looks like it's only gone up to that point there, so right. It looks like this rubber wasn't quite long enough, so I'm going to have to stretch it. Well, that'll work. There's a little gap, but I'm not worried about that. Now I'll get rid of this tube, put this tube out of the way, between this end. I've got acetone on my fingers so it won't stick to me. Right, that's this out of the way for now. I'll need it again in a minute or two though. Right, so now I can just go around. Cleaning up anything that's left over that I want. Right, that's better. Right, now this is ready to stick into the other half of this. There's a little gap there. I'm not happy about that little gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because the super glue could bridge it straight to this plastic and the noise can travel through and make, yeah, it's just to keep the noise down. I just don't like a lot of noise when it runs fairly quiet anyway, but you know what I mean. It's better to eliminate as much as possible. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'll nick a bit off the old one. Should be a bit of a good piece I can nick off here somewhere. I'll just fill that gap in. Yeah, this bit will work. Yeah. Right, I've got a bit of rubber off the old one. And I'm just going to stick that. I'm just going to trim a piece to go in that gap. It's only a tiny little piece. I need the glue again. Ah. I want a tiny drop, I don't want much. Right, that's worked, I think. Yeah. Trim that extra bit off. Right, so there's my new one ready to go in. My preview keeps getting stuck. I hate it when it does that. What's it done now? It stopped playing, stupid thing. Right. Okay, so now I can pop this in here. What I'll use some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol to make it slippery so it goes in easier. Because it's hard to get it in at the moment. Come on. You've got to go in, you were in the other one. Mind you, this rubber's a bit different. It's always hard to get them in the first time. Oh, I know what I'll do. Hang on. File. Where's that file gone? see if that works. We're almost started, so get my screwdriver and start to push it. It's a friggin' tight fit, I can tell you. Once it gets started, it'll go in. Let's go in a bit more of this isopropyl alcohol. Come on. The reason why it was easy to get the other one out is because it had shrunk over time. The plastic had shrunk, but I've just acetone treated it, so it's swollen a bit, so it's going to be a lot tighter. The isopropyl alcohol works wonders. It makes it slippery. Once you get it parallel, it should go in. It's going. It's definitely going. We're not far off. You can tell the super glue is stuck well to that plastic and the rubber because it's not sliding off the plastic, it's staying on. We're almost in. When we're flush with the inside, I'll know it's far enough. Let's see which end is highest end. That end's higher than that end, so this end wants to be more. I'm not even going to need to super glue this in. It's so friggin' tight. Right, we're flush for the inside now, just about. There's a bit of a lip there, so that wants to be a bit more. Right, that's it. In fact, I have to push that back a bit because otherwise it's going to rub on the drum. Right. You see, it wants to be flush with the inside wall, if you can see. Now, what I need is something very sharp, like a razor blade or a very sharp chisel or something, to just make sure there's nothing sticking up on the inside. Oh my god, I'm looking at the preview. I'm looking at something like from 30 minutes ago. What the hell's wrong with YouTube? I just don't know. Right, okay, that's in. Anyway, that's as good as I can get it. So now all I have to do is find my chisel wherever it is. I just want to take that rubber off that's sticking out on the inside of here, because that would cause a lot of friction. There's a bit of rubber sticking out. I think that's I use some sandpaper or something. I think I've got it as best I can get it. Where's the sandpaper gone? As you know, rubber and sandpaper soon wears it out. Right, that's better. Alright, it has to be flush. Right, that looks better. Let's check the drum in here. God, everything's stuck to my magnets. Right, this is the dry side, so let's just see if this goes in. I need to wash that. Don't want dust in the bearing. Right, that's what I've done. Looks alright to me. Oh, look at this. Blooming. Right, so let's push this in here and see if we're in business. See, this is a new bearing. I replaced it, so I've got to hope that the bearing will actually fit in there as well. Ow! I hit my finger then. Yeah, it's going to work. But before I put this together, I need to put some grease, bearing. They call it gear grease, this stuff. I've got this plastic gear grease in the end, just in case something rubs, because the last thing I need is two pieces of plastic rubbing together. It melts with friction, and guess what? It welds together when it stops, and then you can't move anything. It's worse than super glue. So I've got to take this damn thing. Oops! Oh look, I broke my bearing. Ah! Shit. Sorry. Damn it. I've got to stick this together again now. This has happened before. I can mend it, no worries. What I have to do is I have to put the bearing back in the hole. Then I've got to acetone it back together again, and it's my fault really. I should have known that this thing is not strong yet until it's dried out. So I've got to put the bearing back in. This is what happened last time, but I was able to fix it. It's not a big deal. So I'll put the bearing back in there, inside the plastic part. I get this plastic that's broken off, because I pulled it out, yanked it out, and yeah. And I've got to acetone this end and put that back on, and it will be good as new. Oops. Right. I've got to be careful not to get on the bearing though. It's got to go in properly though. It's not going on right. Put it in the right place. I think I've got it. I think I've got it lined up. Yeah, I have. Now acetone, because I want it to really stick well. I just have to hope. Well, looks like it's back to normal, more or less. I just have to hope it's not going to ruin the isolation of the rubber. I hate it when that happens. I use my plastic tool to seat it properly, then I won't spread this plastic around the rubber. I'm going to have to go over this again probably with some... Actually, I use my little knife just to clean that off the rubber, because some of the acetone has melted the plastic and it's kind of made a little thin film over the rubber now. I don't think it'll matter too much. mean, the plastic itself isn't, the thin layer like that's not going to conduct much sound. It's the super glue that does. Super glue is extremely hard, so it conducts sound very well, like a bit like polystyrene. Another thing I don't like PLA about, PLA is very, very polystyrene-ish. It's organic material. It's made out of potato starch apparently or something, and it really makes a din. The printer used to be really loud, very noisy when I was printing everything on it, and then I printed all new brackets and everything out of ABS, and it quietened down like 70% less noise just by printing ABS parts. I was surprised. I thought, my God, that's quiet. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought all I did was print new parts. I was trying to figure it out. I thought, it's that PLA. It's that was noisy. Carrying the sound, you see, resonating through the wood, and then, you know what I mean. Right, I think we're okay. So what I've got to do now is, without pulling this apart again, I've got to put some gear grease in there, then I've got to push this in, otherwise I'm never going to get this damn thing apart again. I mean, because if I pull it apart, I'm going to rip that off, because it's not hardened enough yet. Right, gear grease. And while I'm at it, let's remember to do the other half as well, because I'll probably forget. The rotors are not supposed to come into contact with the end, but if they do come into contact, we get serious amount of friction between the plastic, and as I say, it just melts. So this gear grease is just as a bit of insurance while we get everything lined up, just so we don't accidentally bond and weld the two pieces of plastic together, which is, if you look at the techniques they use in some engineering, they use they twist two pieces of steel together really at high speed, and it welds itself for friction, welds itself together. Well, it's the same thing that was happening with my plastic. Right, so I should have to put this in here now. Ah, got you. It's gone in. Yay, at last. Right, now the other half. I'm going to put this super glue out of the way before I go and stand on it or something. We're going to be fitting coils in a few days. The exciting part is the fitting of the coils. Yeah, it's through. Right. Right. Something's rubbing, so I have to centre it a bit. Oh, that's better. Yeah, brilliant. Right, I need to put an elastic band around there to hold everything, so if I can find the right elastic band. Which one was it? Was it this one or the other one? Right, I'm just going to put elastic band. It's just to hold everything together for now until we figure out a permanent fixing solution. I'll go for the corners like this. I don't want to touch the dry shaft, obviously. So I'm going to put that like that, like that. Right. There we go. That's just to hold the frame together. It's just temporary, the elastic band is. Actually, the other one ended up being permanent. Never got around to swapping it off, but it doesn't matter if it does the job. If it holds everything together, that's all that matters. Well, anyway, as I say, at some point when I'm happy with it and when I'm satisfied, I'm not going to be taking it apart again. I can put some mild bead of glue between the seams to hold it all together. You know, something which I can peel off that's not going to be permanent, like silicone or just an ordinary Eva stick, run it down the seam. That way I can just run a knife if I need to split it, run a knife all the way around. If I use acetone, it'll become one piece, it'll be a nightmare. I'll never get it apart, ever. So yeah, you got to think about different types of glue and everything when you're sticking things together. Is it permanent, semi-permanent, whatever, you know. And this, well, putting this together is kind of semi-permanent really, because I might, at some point I might want to build a new one and take the rotors out of this again. But that runs really well, so let's stick this on the end of here. Oh, at least we'll have the RPM sensor thing on. Now that's on. It's not running very easy at the moment. I had the same issue with the first one because the bearings are new and they're a little bit, the grease is packed in there pretty tight, so it tends to cause a lot of drag until it's running a bit. And I'm going to stick some elastic bands around. Oh god, this elastic band, I don't know where I've had this, but it's gone really soft. I'll find some bands in here, hang on. This band can go around the base to hold. I've got to put some feet on here as well. So this one can go, stick it on my knee. This can go around the base, like this, if it doesn't snap on me. That's tight. So that's clamping the base together. I don't want things moving around on me. I can't get the coils in. Oh, actually the coils go in the ends anyway, so I'll get the coils in alright. I was thinking about putting the wires so that I could access them from the sides, and then I can tap oscilloscope onto the wires that are running. Like these are a set of coils, right? There's 5 coils, so I've decided to use 5 coils. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit, when I install my coils, I'm going to put the coils where they're joined together. I'm going to run the coils down the side like this, where the jumper, where it's down the side like this, down the side of the coil. That's where they're in series, and I'll mount them so that these wires are accessible from the side like this. So when I put this in like that, this rubber band's getting in the way at the moment, and I'm just trying to demonstrate. So when this is in here like this, right, I can access these wires through this slot on the side and put my oscilloscope on to take readings. That's what I want to do really. But in the meantime, I don't want them in there yet. Come out. It's because it's got a rubber band on it. I'm going to put tape around it at some point. Right. Actually, another thing I could do, what I could do is design a clip that goes over the top, or a bolt. I could even have a nylon bolt that goes all the way, follows this trough here, that goes out the end, and clamp it that way. I could clamp it together with a bolt, but I'd have to use a nylon bolt, something that's non-magnetic, or I could just drill some holes, put a bungee rubber thing all the way through that basically clamps it that way. So it's just to hold the frame together. As long as it, oh, I'm going to knock something now. What's catching? Oh, I've knocked my bearings out of alignment. That's what I'm talking about getting them lined up properly. Oh, they're alright now. Yeah. So, we're coming together slowly. I'm going to put this pulley on this end. I think I'm going to stick a steel washer in there. I'm going to have to stop the stream because I think the phone is... Oh, it's blooming hot. It's getting... But the battery's going to die on me anyway. Soon. Because I can't charge it while it's in that slot thing. Can I get this washer on here? Yeah. Well, if I stick a washer on here, it'll just make it so this pulley doesn't rub directly on that plastic. So let's try and push this pulley on. Right, that's good. Still need a gap there anyway. Right. I don't think I really don't want to put a washer on there, but it's not gripping as well as it did on the other one. I think it's because I super glued the shaft to the... I had some stuff on the drive shaft so it wouldn't slide through the bearings as easily. We'll see about... Actually, some nail varnish would do that. Take that off. Get some nail varnish. And... Just... Oh. Just dab that in there. It's just to stop it from sliding through. It's diluted this, it's very thin. Right. Right, so that's it really for now, I think, because I'm still winding a few more coils, but we'll soon be ready to start installing the coils. And I've got to put the feet on here. I've got to put the little round feet that you're seeing on the other one, which is like this. And I've also got these little feet round things here. These have got to be fitted on here. I've got to put rubber feet on there, and the other half of this just fell off because it's not rubber banded now. I'll have to put a elastic band on here to hold it together because it keeps falling apart now. This rubber band doesn't snap and hit me in the face. Could do. Right, that way it won't keep falling apart on me. I've got to take this, actually I've got another motor mount. I just need to take the steel out of here, these little straps, and put them on the other one. So I've got another motor mount thing there. So that's gonna be bolted onto here like that. So yeah. Alright. I thought about bolting it because I actually glued that one on. So yeah, I'm not going to get that off too easy. So actually, not to worry, it's falling to bits anyway. Now I'm just going to pull the steel out of here, these steel straps. Then I should be able to pull them straight out of here, and then I can transplant them across. I'm going to use bolts this time though, I think, because the bolts make it easier to take the motor mount off. And I've also got to transplant this at some point as well across to here. this, because I've got some fancy bearings in the little wheel, the tiny little midget bearings in there. I don't know if you can see them. Very tiny midget bearings in there, and I only got 4 of them. No, I got, what was it? I think I got 4. Anyway, I haven't got any left anyway, so I want to salvage those at some point as well. Right. I don't know if this stream's still working because I can't, it's got stuck again. How long has it been going? Ooh. Oh, what the hell is wrong with this YouTube thing? I've been going an hour and 10 minutes. My phone's going to be cooked. Right, so I've got to take the phone out now. Come out, you bugger. Come out. Oops. Okay. Right. So look at it close up. Yeah, it's quite. My battery's at 48%. Holy moly! Right. So there we have it. Up to now, just got finished the coils winding, and these are the coils I've wound so far. Yeah, there's a plus those down there. So anyway, I'll just say thank you for watching.